top 3 mistakes that Plus EV sports bettors make that reduce your profits and keep you frustrated on a day-to-day basis. Welcome to Juice Bets. My name is Trevor. Let's keep things quick here. We've got 3 tips that should turn around your Plus EV sports betting profits. These are things that I've dealt with in the past, mistakes that I've made, and I want to make sure that you guys correct them soon because this is the best time to be betting on sports. We've got basically every sport in action besides baseball. Who wants to bet on that? We've got football, basketball, hockey, everything you guys could want. And so this is prime time for a Plus EV sports bettor now. It's now. Now is the time to be making profits. So let's eliminate these 3 mistakes from your day-to-day process and you will increase your profits. Before we get into the video, make sure you do like and subscribe. It definitely helps us out. And if you haven't yet, join the VIP Discord. This is a perfect place to eliminate these mistakes as we have tons of people in there to help you get through the tough times maybe or ask questions and all of that. So if you are interested to get all of our plays too, we've got plays in there too, tons of bets, profitable bets. Check out the link down below, completely free for your first 3 days. Okay, 3 tips, mistakes that you're making. Let's change them. Number 1 mistake that most new Plus EV sports bettors make, and even people who've been around for a bit, is bankroll management. It's somewhat boring, but it's the most important thing to keep you, around for the long term and to increase your profits, right? Because if you're betting too little or too much, that can sway your ROI and also make it so you quit, right? You don't want to be around because you're losing money. So a couple tips to fix this mistake is number 1, create a bankroll that you are 100% comfortable to either lose or not be able to touch regardless of what happens for at least a year, right? You want to have a bankroll. You want to have that treasury of yours, the capital that you're going to be wagering. You don't need to touch it. You need to make sure that you don't need it. You don't want to be having cash that you might need to pull in for your rent or your food or your groceries. No. This is money that you're okay with losing or at least not touching. We don't lose money at Juice Bets, but you don't want to be able to touch it because there might be some days where you're down, and if you have to pull that out, right, to pay for your rent, you're never going to come back from that. So make sure your bankroll is a sum of money that you don't need to pull from, right? Now, the second part of that is, okay, you've got a bankroll that you're comfortable with. Let's say it's $1,000. This is what you're going to be wagering with. Okay, well, you have $1,000. Now, how do you determine how much of that you're betting? Because if you jump into our VIP Discord server or you're tailing some people on Twitter or you're finding plays on the Odds Jam or Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, how do you decide how much you're putting on each slip, right? So what we say and what I fully believe is that if you're just starting out and you're at $1,000, I would say 1,000 is kind of the ideal. It's on the low end for for a bankroll, but that is, I would say, kind of the minimum to be able to at least follow this bankroll management strategy. So you got $1,000. Again, if you are less than 1,000, you can still bet on sports and you can still Plus EV bet, but it's just not quite as optimal. If you're at $1,000 as your bankroll, you should be wagering 0.5% to 1% of that bankroll on each bet, right? And so that means $5 to $10 on each bet. You might be thinking, well, how am I going to even make money if I'm just wagering $5 or $10 on each one? The thing is you need to make sure that you're diversifying your bets. You have, you've got a lot of volume, right? If you get 50 bets in at $10 a piece, well, that's half of your bankroll right there, right? And so the good thing about that is you have 50 bets because you're not just putting $500 on 2 bets. And if they go wrong, well, there's half your bankroll, and then you're probably frustrated, and then you're done, and you quit, and you just lost money, and you missed out on thousands and thousands of profits. So again, bankroll management, set your bankroll to something that you're comfortable with not touching. 0.5 to 1% of your bankroll, it should be your unit size, right? So how much per bet you're making, and then, you can move from there. Once you have that set, you're placing your bets, you're feeling comfortable. If you lose 20 bets in a row, it's not a big deal. You still got tons of bankroll left. and it keeps you around. We want to be like a cockroach. We don't want to be able to be killed. We want to stick around through the bad variance. Potentially might have a bad week and you're down money. But overall, in the long term, when you remove variance, this is a profitable betting strategy. It just simply is. The math says so. My picket says so, right? So that is the number one mistake that I've seen is bankroll management. You got to stick around. You got to be a cockroach and never die. And so, follow those tips and you will definitely fix that first mistake. Now, second mistake is kind of in line with, sticking around and not quitting. And that's not being emotionally invested. And obviously, if you have, a massive bankroll that you need to pull from and all this, you're going to be super, super emotionally invested in those bets, right? I remember in my first month of Plus EV sports betting, I started off with $100, right? I got up to $500 after some bonuses, up to $1,000 after some more bonuses. And, each bet, if I was making like a $10, $20 bet and then sometimes I go up to a $50 bet, I mean, that's a $50 bet at $1,000. That's 5% of your bankroll, right? And so on those big bets, I'm like emotionally invested. My day is ruined if it loses. If it wins, I'm happy the rest of the day. You don't want that. You don't want your emotions to be a roller coaster based off of if you're winning or losing. Nowadays, 6 months into this, when I've made over $50,000 this year betting on sports, I don't even really care anymore because I know that my process is sound, right? The edges that we're getting are perfect and profitable. And so I'm placing these bets and I'm not even looking to see if they win. At the end of the day, I might check. Next morning, I might check, see, okay, well, I'm up today. Okay, I'm down today. It doesn't matter to me because the name of the game for me is volume, get money down, take that edge, take advantage of it. And if it works out for you that specific day, it doesn't matter because on the long run, it works out. So second mistake is just being emotionally invested. Again, managing your bankroll is the number one way to get to fix that. So to be honest, the first and second mistakes are kind of interlocked. It's just you need to be able to manage that bankroll properly, which will remove those emotions and make it easier for you to be a Plus EV sports bettor because it's really difficult to do this, part-time as a side hustle or even full-time if you're really emotionally invested because it's just too much of a roller coaster. It's not healthy to do that. So remove your emotions from it, right? If that means lowering your unit size, do it. You want to make this an enjoyable experience that provides you with a nice stream of income. The third and final mistake that I see Plus EV sports bettors make is not being selective enough with their bets. It can be overwhelming when you have, let's say you're in our VIP Discord and you've got, 6 to 8 different sharp sports bettors sending you bets every single day and you see tons of them winning and you feel FOMO and you want to get, you missed a couple winning slips, you tailed 2 slips that lost and, you're down and everyone else is up. It can be an emotional, again, remove emotions, but it can be very emotional, right? Like you can feel like you need to get back in that FOMO. And so sometimes it can be very, very difficult to not be selective, but it's super, super important to make sure that you're not tailing slips that are no longer Plus EV, right? If someone posts on Twitter a slip and they say this is a Plus EV, play, and you and one of the lines at 6.5 and you go in and now he's at 6, well, and the play was under, well, you just lost all of the value. You were supposed to take under 6.5. Now it's at 6. Well, that half point was the value. It's gone. It's no longer there. And so if you're not being selective enough and you're not sitting on the sidelines and waiting for your chance to strike where you have an edge, then you're not a Plus EV sports bettor. It's pretty simple. You no longer have value. There's no Plus EV. There's no positive expected value. To be honest, now it's probably negative expected value because you're not getting any value. The sports books are taking all your value. So you got to be selective. And that means controlling those emotions. And it means, making sure that if you want to, have those notifications on so you get notified when those plays come in. If you have the Odds Gem Optimizer, which I would highly recommend, you can turn notifications on. And just making sure that you're selecting your spots where you have the best ROI and the best edge, because that's where the real profits come. Sit on the sidelines for other bets that you've missed. No big deal. You're going to miss winners. It's part of the game. So yeah, that is the third and final tip. To sum it all up for you guys, I mean, it comes down to managing your bankroll effectively. Don't be wagering more than you can handle, because if you do wager more than you can handle, second mistake is being emotionally invested in these things. And to be honest, once you're emotionally invested in it, you make the third mistake, which is not being selective. You're chasing bets, you're taking bad bets. And that's where you lower your ROI and probably end up losing money there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe it clicked in your brain on something and it'll help you become a more, at least just a smarter bettor, and one that can stick around for longer. We want to be around for a long time because, hey, who knows how long these edges are going to last for, but we want to be here now and stick around as long as we can, because this is some serious profits. Anyways, like and subscribe if you did find this useful. Check out the VIP Discord. If you have any questions, you can ask me there or in the comments down below. And we'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.